Okay guys, I'm not going to show myself because I just got back from vacation and we've been in the car all day. And I mean, I'm literally all day. We got stuck in traffic in Atlanta and a 7-hour drive ended up being 10 or 11. So it's been a long day, but I'm out in the garden kind of checking in on things. And oh my goodness, at the beans. My dad was keeping an eye on things and he had told me I had some stuff to harvest. He wasn't kidding. I've got quite a few beans in here to harvest. So yeah, that's on the agenda. But look how much things have grown. The okra, oh my goodness, this basil, the one I thought the ants were gonna kill. Look how much that has bloomed out. And look at those rattlesnake beans. They're all the way up there on that trellis. But yeah, the okra is doing really well. These are some of the ones that were planted before. They're gonna start putting blooms off soon, I think, but even the small ones are getting bigger. And then look at the purple, the opal basil that has come back. And then these, I need to trim this on the agenda because it's trying to bloom and trying to bolt, and I don't want them to bolt. But these two are the same. These are the cinnamon basils. But yeah, and oh my goodness, at that zinnia, it bloomed while I was gone. I knew it would bloom while I was gone. I just, look at that. Look at the detail in those. I mean, the flower within the flower, the spiral in the center. I mean, how perfect is that? It's the first time I've ever grown these, and I literally just threw those seeds in that pot and they grew. But yeah, all of these. Now I am having a problem. You see this damage here? This is caused by Japanese beetles. As a matter of fact, I was looking to see if I could find one real quick just to show you what it looks like. I'm seeing the damage, but there's one. See him up in there? Focus. That's a Japanese beetle. And really, to be honest, they're really hard to get rid of once they get started. I've heard you can use DE on them or neem oil, but neem oil will also, in the heat, will burn your plants. So you have to be really careful on when you use that, and I'm really nervous about using neem oil. But yeah, back to the plants that are growing. These are the new rounds of beans. It's the same exact beans that are there, so I have a staggered harvest. These are the rattlesnake beans, and they have the prettiest purple blooms. And we are already seeing, let me find one, little baby beans. Oh, right there it is, little baby bean. Little bitty tiny, oh, it's focusing beyond that. Oh, focusing. Little bitty baby bean that it's not wanting to focus on. It's being crazy. There it goes, little bitty baby bean. And you can almost see the color variation in that. Of course, it's gonna come out a lot stronger once they start getting bigger, obviously. And I wanted to show you, I was really kind of surprised. Up underneath this okra, look at this. The beets are coming back. That was not like that when I left. I've got one there and then one back there. And so, yeah, it's kind of crazy that they're trying to come back. I'm really rather shocked. But look how much this cherry, or the ground cherry, has grown. We got one or two off of it that we could eat. But also, look at these. 1, 2, 3, 4. That one's actually starting to turn yellow. That one's going to start getting ripe. 5. Oh, and I've seen another one. But here, there's one starting. 6. Right there. There's a little baby one. But yeah, they're 7. Like, they're hot and heavy in there. And now I have already come out here and harvested. That was the first thing that I did, and I didn't do a video because I was determined to get it done before it got dark on me. Now, a couple of these tomatoes here had they were ripe and they had started to rot, and so we got a bite or two off of those, but really they didn't have a whole lot of flavor. And I need to check the tag on that because I think that's either the it ain't the Solar Flare. I think it's a Mr. Stripey. Oh no, this one's the Mr. Stripey. So that one is, what does its tag say? That one is the Black Prince back there. And they've been not that great. They really haven't had a whole lot of flavor. And so I just don't know about them. I don't know that that's one of the ones, these 4 back here. This one, that back one and that one are all ones I got for at Home Depot, which that one, you see all the black, that's the Midnight Snack all the way up on that one, but none of them are ripe. Even the ones on the bottom, I took one off to try it. It's soft, but it's still green on the inside, very sour. Now, look at those lemon boys. Those are going to be big boys. Like, those are going to be big tomatoes. I'm kind of excited about those. But you see all the other ones, and also that ground cherry has exploded as well. Like, it's everywhere. But look at this. Look at my black beauties that I grew from seed. They're putting on. Look at them. They're so pretty. And so we're just kind of watching the tomatoes right now. Even our survivors are putting on, and those are going to be those bumblebee, sunrise bumblebee ones. So I'm excited about those. Those are little Tommy toes. The spaghetti squash, obviously. Oh, there's another one. I told you that there was another one. I'm training those things in and getting them to go up that. They're taller than me over that trellis now. I'm about to bring something out here to stand on. Now the cucumbers are the Silver Slicers, and that's from Hudson Valley Seed Company. And I had to start running them back up this because they were trying to sprawl this way. We had 4 cucumbers on that Toby's actually eating 2 of them right now, like with supper. And they are so good. They had been out here and got a little fat, but they were not bitter. And that's the whole purpose of those. We've had 95-degree days, and the purpose of those is that they do not get bitter. They are made to handle our heat of our summer. And so there are more on there. Obviously, we're going to have a lot more. I just went ahead and took the ones that were on there off so that it could focus more on growing. And then the melons have started climbing. These are the Tigger melons. They were also sprawling, and I had to start running them up the trellis. And that nasturtium, I wish I had a pretty bloom going with that right now. But yeah, the nasturtiums, that's what the crimson red one. And then this one is the peaches and cream. And oh my goodness, at how pretty those are. Look at those. These are big, healthy plants. I'm glad they're doing well. Now, this is the pie patty one. You see the pie patty? I got 4 off of these plants, and they were like the size of my hands, like in comparison, like they were huge, and they're in the house now. I'll post pictures on Instagram. The unfortunate thing is oh, there's one. Oh, finally. I was afraid. I was only getting 1 or 2 of the acorn squash. There's one right there, and then there's another real dark one back in there. And you can see well, I think so. Hold on. It's kind of hard to see it, isn't it? But there's another pie patty one down in there. That one's almost big enough to harvest. Not quite, almost there. You see the Thai yard long beans are finally, and why is this thing not focusing? Come on, man. There it goes. They're finally starting to climb, and so I had to pull some of their loose ends. See, some of these are loose, and I have been running them back up that to try to get them, you know, to climb, because they were all down in there. So they are, I think, my goodness, what is going on with my camera? Until I went on vacation, I was using it for other things. I think they're gonna start putting on blooms. But you see, that's growing. The acorn squash is finally like putting on some stuff. I actually harvested off of these plants, and then look at this corn. It is tasseling. We're actually getting some silk down in there from some little bitty corn. You need to get lost, you little beetle. You look like a ladybug. You are not a ladybug. You are a cucumber beetle, and I do not want you anywhere near my plants. I've been trying to keep an eye on that, but I know inevitably, like that, it's that time of year for them. Focus. I need you to focus thing. It's that time of year. Best thing to do is kill them when you see them. I've been trying to keep an eye on things, but I mean, with having huge plants and all down in there, you're not going to be able to get every one that gets on your plants. But the birds do help. I've been having to sacrifice some strawberries for them because they like the strawberries, but they seem to be working with helping me with this. Now, I am seeing some damages on this. Oh, look, there's another one back in there. On this, oh, I've got a piece of spray, and I've got my hose on, my dripper, my soaker hose, and you weed. thing about the weeds, you pull weeds as soon as you see them. That's how you keep a raised bed clean. But yeah, we've got some damage here. And I had been looking for like eggs and you know, just kind of glancing for stuff like that, but we were gone for a week. And so in the grand scheme of things, we've got a kohlrabi that we're going to be able to harvest, but it's like they're eat up. I'll show them to you. But the main stuff is going on here and down at the other part of the garden. I'm really excited with how things have grown. Like I said, they're taller than me now. Now this one's gonna raw off. You see how that one's all crinkly and didn't do anything? That one did not get pollinated, which I'm kind of okay with that because it has a ton of fruit and I would like there to be spaces between the fruit. So I'm kind of okay with that one doing that, as long as it puts on more later. But let me walk you over here. Yeah, look at this monstrosity of my herb bed. Like, the oregano is a mess, and it does this every year. Like, I'm not surprised. But the strawberries are awesome. The marigolds, look at that, they're turning purple. I don't know what is going on with them. We have catnip that's finally growing up and doing something. The butterflies will really love that. I need to check on the potatoes because I do have plants dying off, and according to my calendar, technically I could harvest, but they never got really big and they didn't bloom, and so I don't know if that's normal, not normal. So, because some of them are still really healthy, and then we have others that are dying off, like those. So I don't know like what's going on with that, but we will see. Look, I have a random tomato plant that I put in there to save it, and a massive turnip that's in Bryce's box that he grew. That's a turnip. So they're growing. The dragon tongue beans are finally putting on beans. Look at those. Aren't they cool? They're on the agenda to harvest and get those. Like, this is really strange. I got a good harvest off of this right before we left, but then it's like anything that was left on it, I thought it would put on again, like keep blooming, but they're not. I mean, these are a couple that got bigger, and I'll harvest them tomorrow when I harvest the beans, but that hasn't done anything else. So I need to look and see if I need to pull those and maybe replant another round. And for bush beans, I feel like I didn't get a whole lot out of that, so it's a little aggravating. But yeah, you see the kohlrabi down in there? That's a pretty good sized kohlrabi. But yeah, this is what happens when it rains and rains and rains, and it washes all your BT off, and you can't keep the cabbage worms from decimating your plants. So that one back there is growing healthy enough, it might survive. I am going to put BT on these tomorrow, and kind of, I may harvest that one and leave it. But look, my pumpkin spice jalapenos are putting on blooms, and my other ones are still alive. Like, they're, I don't know, they're being weird. But yeah, my goodness, look at this kale. It needs to be pulled. I mean, it is pitiful. I mean, it's bad. I was kind of waiting on these. I'm gonna get the seed pods. Oh, that seed pod's opening. Let's just seeds. Look. Oh God, my phone does not want to focus. You see the little seeds in there? So yeah, we're just gonna do that. Self-seed and weeds. Weeds. Like I said, anytime you see weeds, go ahead and pull them if you have a raised bed, because it's easier to pull them out when they are teeny tiny than it is to try to pull them when they're massive. Now this is the other healthier dragon tongue beans. They obviously are putting on blooms. I haven't really checked this one to see if I have any beans in it yet, because they were not blooming when I left, and so I don't really see any beans yet, but that's not surprising. I was not expecting these to be putting on beans. Not yet anyway. So, oh, nope, I thought that was a baby bean. It was not. Same thing is happening to the Brussels sprouts. That's happening to all the other brassicas that I have planted. And then of course this is the lettuce I have not pulled out. one of the things that I did before I left, and I like to see progress, you see those little seedlings and these little seedlings? You know how my acorn squash did not climb? Well, I decided to plant some more back here so it can bush and be back here, do its thing. There's some there, there's some there, there's some there. Oh, there's another one of the peaches and cream. And so I kind of turned this thing loose to let it do its thing. What in the world are you? I do not know what that is. Gonna have to do the plant identifying app, figure out what in the world that is, because I don't recognize it. Now the carrots, you see all the carrots, that's what the other random plants are. This one has gone to seed. Look at that. They call that, it's kin to Queen Anne's lace. It is very, very similar. We have stuff like this that grows out in the fields. Technically, you could eat this stuff, like you could eat the roots off of it, but they don't have as good of a flavor. We use it called chiggerweed because in those things, chiggers like to live in those flowers, and so you would get those flowers and you'd run through a field of them and you would have chiggers all over your legs. But it is going to seed, and I'm not like super concerned about it because in this bed, since I pulled the lettuce, I'm just kind of winging it and letting whatever grow, whatever wants to grow. But I am doing more acorn squash here because I feel like my acorn squash out on the trellis is going to get smothered out by the pie patty spaceship squash. So I wanted it to have another chance. Oh, look, there's another tomato that's actually putting blooms on. I'm shocked. Kind of surprised that all these random tomatoes I stuck out there are doing well. But yeah, gotta deal with that. I'm gonna harvest that kohlrabi though. I got one, and I may see which ones are healthy enough to stay in there. Harvest those. But yeah, I'm excited for my first dragon tongue bean. Isn't that cool looking? I mean, look at those stripes. And of course, we've been getting the red beans that we pickled. Look at this sky, guys. Isn't it gorgeous? Like it is. It is a beautiful evening, and I know that it's like blurring, but I'm kind of doing that on purpose because of the houses. I'm trying to keep it on the sky. But look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? Like just beautiful sunset. And with that, guys, and a view of those beautiful ridges, I think I'm gonna go. You guys have a good evening. I will have more stuff going on later as I'm harvesting and using this stuff. Check out Instagram. I'll be posting pictures on there because I'll be needing to find things to do with the basil and the squash and the beans especially. Have a good evening, guys. Bye.